Welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we're going to talk with the Health Department about some issues you should prepare for during hurricane season especially. My guest is Norma Piovane. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
There's so much that goes into hurricane preparation and deciding whether to go to a shelter, stay where you are and shelter at home, or leave the area. But all those things are going to have some things in common, is particularly for people with medical needs.
Correct, yes.
So what are some of the things that we need to have ready to go or easy to pack?
Okay, ready to go, especially if you know a hurricane is coming, is to have enough medication on hand. Okay, now some of us get our medications through this 30-day supply prescription through the mail. So if you're down to like a week's worth of medication, you need to work with your provider and your insurance company to get enough.
I think that's really important because, you know, the pharmacy could be closed, you could be evacuating out of there, you could just be unable to get there.
Right.
And people need, you know, some medications in particular need to stay in your bloodstream. You can't run out. And others of them are, you know, you'd experience some real problems if you weren't taking them for a period of time. But that can be tricky.
Yeah, to make sure that you have enough, I would say at least 1 to 2 weeks, I mean, if possible. And the most important thing is take them with you. Okay?
It doesn't do any good if they're home on the counter.
Doesn't do any good, you know, and say you shelter, nobody's going out in the middle of a storm to get your insulin.
Right.
Okay, you need to bring that with you. Not only your insulin, but all the apparatus that goes with it. Your syringes, your glucometer to check your medication, your blood sugar with. So that you should all have with you ready to go.
And that is just very critical for people who are insulin dependent. They can't go a few hours with, you know, they really have to.
If you're really insulin dependent, you have to have that.
And that you keep it, and I know this because I have a family member, it's all together. I mean, it's just a matter of making a list to make sure you remember.
Right, don't run out of the house and go, oh, my insulin's still in the fridge.
Right, and insulin needs to be in a cooler.
It should be in a cooler, but most insulins can stay at room temperature, but then that decreases the amount of time that it's good for. So when you're leaving, use the cooler pack because you may not have refrigeration later. Where you're going.
Let's use it at the beginning to extend that life.
Right, that's correct, yeah. And then, of course, always bring with you your doctor's number, your pharmacy number, your insurance information.
And your insurance card, absolutely.
So say you didn't get your prescription of Coumadin filled before you left. So you're in another town and you have to go to a new pharmacy. And now the pharmacies can talk to one another.
Well, first of all, a lot of them now are chain pharmacies.
Right.
So if you go to, you know, a CVS or Rite Aid or whatever in one place, they can fill it in another.
Right.
But even if it's a different, they can talk to each other.
They can talk to each other.
Prescription.
You know, so you have all your information, so they can fill that for you. Yeah.
And let's also say there are people who take non-prescription medications and they may not think of those, or they may be kept in a different place.
Right. So say you really need to take Motrin every day, allergy medication. Yeah, bring that with you because CVS may not be open where you're going. You know.
Absolutely. Now, what about people who have more complicated medical issues? For example, oxygen.
Okay. Now, if you're not going to shelter at home, if you're going to evacuate or you're going to go to one of the city shelters, bring your apparatus with you. Okay. If you use a tank, bring your tank. If you use a compressor, bring your compressor. If you have a CPAP machine, bring the CPAP machine.
Oh, I didn't think about that. And tell people what that is, by the way, in case they don't know.
CPAP is if you have sleep apnea, so to sleep you have to wear this contraption on your face to help you breathe.
Yeah, because you don't want to stop breathing just because you don't want to stop breathing because
you're not there.
And people who do rely on oxygen really need to consider their need for electricity.
Go someplace.
Have a generator backup. have a backup of friend or family
Correct.
member. And
Correct.
we do, when we open shelters, have a medical needs shelter, and they have generators.
Right.
But that might not be the most comfortable place
No.
either, you know?
So if you have some place that you're going to travel, make sure they have electricity. Don't go to another town and they're in the zone that loses power.
Right.
If you feel it's just going to be short term, when the city opens up their shelters, in each shelter there's a medical needs portion that has outlets, and every place they pick has generators, so that you can at least plug your machine in. Okay.
Okay, and you know, people don't necessarily think about food and water being medical necessities.
Yes, they are. Of course, you all know you're supposed to have a gallon of water for every person for 3 days on hand. Now, if you require many medications, dry your mouth out, you find you need to take more, of course, then increase that amount. Make sure you have that on hand. And then certain foods, you know, some medications you have to take with food.
Right.
You should have something that you can at least take your medication with. Certain foods you need to avoid, so make sure if you need to avoid a certain amount or a certain type of food, pack some foods that if you go someplace and, I mean, that's all they have, you have something else to go back to.
Right, and some
Yeah.
people use applesauce to take their pills because
right.
they can't swallow. I mean, just thinking of all those things.
What do you usually do at home, and don't anticipate that the place you're going to go is going to have that,
Right.
you know?
And I would also say, if you know you're going to have to leave because of an oxygen tank, because you know you're just in a fragile condition,
Right.
make the decision. And you have a friend, particularly inland. I mean, my neighbors used to always go to the mountains and stay with a friend, and they would leave early. Avoid the rush.
Right.
You know, they'd call us to see when they could come back and what was going on. But if you have a place and you know you're going to have to leave anyway,
Right.
don't wait till the last minute.
Do not wait till the last minute, because then, you know, you're hoping that you can get there on time, and when you wait till the last minute, you forget. You get to the
Right.
shelter, oh, I need my whatever, whatever, whatever. You can contact the city emergency planner office. They can tell you what shelters are open. If you need certain assistance, they can help to arrange for that to get you there. But if you wait till the last minute when everybody's crowding in, you know, there'll be a delay.
And for people who are afraid to evacuate because they want to make sure their little dog or cat is taken care of, we do have a shelter
Yes,
that
we do.
accommodates pets. So don't let your pet be the reason that you risk your own safety.
No, it won't be housed in the same shelter you are, but
It'll be nearby.
But it'll be nearby, and the pets will be taken care of. And I think you just have to supply, I think, food.
Yes.
For
if
them.
you're bringing, so same thing with your animal as with yourself.
Right.
If that, and my dog takes prescription drugs.
Yes,
You've got to remember those.
Yes.
You've got to remember the food.
Yeah,
and the bowls
some of you have diabetic dogs. You need
Yes.
to remember their insulin and their syringes.
It's complicated. Our
It
family
is.
members.
Yes.
Well, Norma, what are some of the other health concerns? And I'm going to say in a disaster, in Hampton, we're largely talking about hurricanes,
yeah.
flash flood from other,
Yeah.
you know, nor'easters, hurricanes, those kinds of things. Floodwaters, we have to be careful about those.
Yeah, because you don't know where the flood waters. Don't forget they flood the sewers. They come
and
up.
things bubble up.
And they come up. You don't know what's in it, so stay out of the flood waters.
Which also means things that touch floodwaters. So
Yeah, if something's been soaked, wait till the water subsides.
clean
it out and see. Wear your gloves, wear your Wellingtons, whatever. You know.
What about, you know, what certainly one of the things can happen if you lose power is you lose refrigeration.
Use refrigeration. So yeah, so usually that's. I don't know the exact time frame, but I would say, of course, when it goes out, leave it closed. I think 24 to 48 hours might
And
be
some
it.
things will go faster than
Some
other
things will go faster.
and you need to really be careful and watch. But particularly, you know, meats, milks,
Right.
things that spoil quickly anyway.
Get rid of.
Yeah, just don't risk it.
Just don't take a chance. So of course, you know, keep plenty of canned and prepackaged food so you can at least eat that.
And that's what I was going to say too, because peanut butter and jelly may not be your favorite meal, but it is, or
It's
canned tuna,
tuna.
or things that will last, or
Right.
if you have a camp stove,
Right.
it can be the prepackaged things that you need to heat up.
And when
but-
you go out to buy things, people run to the store when there's a storm, and I see people buying gallons of milk. Well, that's going to go. Have powdered milk or canned milk.
That's so
something
smart,
you
right.
can reconstitute so the kids can have their cereal with their milk.
Which is a good no-cook meal.
No-cook
and
meal.
It's comforting. Kids are used to it. It
Right.
provides some familiarity in a
Yeah.
situation that's
Cereal for breakfast, peanut butter and jelly for dinner, and maybe peanut butter and jelly for dinner.
you still, and if you have a propane stove,
Yeah.
okay, let's also remember you use it outside.
Use it. Yes, everything else, you do not grill in the house.
Do not, your backup stuff stays outside. It's camping gear for
Camping
a
gear,
reason.
grill outside. Yeah, on the little sterno or whatever. You can, because during Isabel, I heated my tea water and my soup on my grill.
And there are a lot of things you can do,
Yeah.
particularly if you're in that Isabel situation. I was without power for 2 weeks. I don't
Yes.
know how long yours was out. But,
Yeah.
we did a lot of grilling, a lot on the propane stove
Right.
outside. We found places that had generators
Right.
where we could restock and things like that.
So if your power goes out in your home, you have a grill, this is the time you're going to cook up all that meat you have in the freezer.
Right.
Everybody
right.
comes over.
And you share.
Yes.
That's what we did
Yeah.
too. Okay, is there anything else you want to remind people about, as we approach hurricane season? And certainly we're going to keep our fingers
Right.
crossed that it's not a bad one.
Yeah. Now keep up with your medications. Know where your shelters are. Okay.
Right.
Usually in the city of Hampton, it's the Phoenix School behind Big Bethel.
That's usually the first.
That's usually the first, and Big Bethel then is usually your pet. Okay, they could change that, but in the past, that's what it has been. Know how to get there.
Right.
And don't wait till the last minute, because the tree limbs come down and you may not be able to make it there.
And if your area is told to evacuate,
Evacuate.
Because
Evacuate.
You're putting the city's emergency and fire response at risk.
Right.
If they have to wade through water, if there's electrical lines down. I mean, if you've
Right.
waited too long, you're putting a strain on everybody else.
Right.
You're risking their ability to come get you. At some point,
And it's gonna get to a
we
point-
pull those trucks off the
They're
road
not
if the
going to go.
winds are that bad.
Yeah.
And they may not, be able to get in, or it may take them a long time. So really pay attention
Right.
to those warnings. And you can watch online. You get a phone call usually if you have a landline, if we're evacuating your
Right.
area. I mean, there's a lot of ways we tell you. It'll tell you on the TV. You've got to pay attention and do what is recommended for your own health and safety. Okay, well, thank you so much,
Thank you for
Norma.
having me.
And thank you for watching. I hope you will take this time to get ahead on your medications. It's something you could maybe do a little bit at a time, sort of renew a little bit early, build up your stock so that you've got that week or two to spare, because you may be planning for hurricane season, but you could also be without power during a snowstorm or other times of the year. So be prepared, make that list so that in a panic or in a hurry, you don't forget very important things for your health. Thanks for watching.